First of all, thank you so much to Foyaz and Rainstone for this opportunity to speak to you guys today, and thank you for giving me your time to take out from your valuable day, because I know you guys are really busy. I know the job of a broker or anything to do with brokerage, how busy the days are, so thank you once again. I'm going to start by telling you a little story. I'm not going to take too much of your time, a little story, and heads up, it may get a bit emotional, this story, so get the tissues ready.
We
For
do
me,
have the tissues.
I'm just kidding.
I'm a crybaby.
So, September 2019, normal Monday, I walk into work, and I was really excited that day, coming into work Monday, because literally the day before I found out my wife was pregnant with our second child. So I was extra excited. I was like, oh great, this is great, really happy. Walk into work, normal 9 o'clock. And sat down, set up my computer, and my boss goes, me and Alex want to have a quick chat. Alex was the CEO. And I didn't think nothing of it. I was new in the role, I think about 3-4 months. We were working on quite a few things, and I had regular catch-ups with him. Calls me in the office, we sit down in a room like that, and the CEO starts talking to me. The whole time he's talking to me, he's just looking down, and he's looking side, and he's not making eye contact with me. And he's just talking gibberish, complete gibberish. And I had to like stop him after about 10 minutes. So let me just stop you right there, Alex. What happens when we step out of this room? And he goes, well, we shake hands and we go our separate ways. And I felt like a rug being pulled from under my feet, but a smile came on my face, and I just looked at him and I said, you know what? I looked at him and I looked at my boss, and I said, you know what? I feel extremely disappointed in you guys. Considering the regular chats I had with them, like, we're really happy with what you're doing and everything like that, and we're very excited, because they headhunted me from my previous job to come on and work for them, and for them to do that. Anyways, making a long story short, they said, yeah, this is it pretty much, and they instantly wanted me to gather all my things and go. And this had never happened to me ever before in my life, when I got fired like that, or got let go like that. It's a real shock to my system. And you can imagine all the happiness from the day before kind of disappeared, and now I'm like, oh my God. So they wanted me to go, and then I'm gathering my things, and I'm telling the people in the office, or my boss is telling, and everyone's jaw is dropping, like, oh my God, what has Ash done? He's being sent home. Anyways, I came down, still didn't feel quite real. I came down, the office was on like the 11th floor or something, so I took the lift down, and now as I'm coming down, it's starting to become real. And when I sat down in the lobby downstairs, and then it kind of hit me like, oh, you know, I don't have a job anymore. I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow morning. I call my wife. I tell her. She was quite calm about it. She's like, okay, that's fine. Just come home and just relax and chat. And I still didn't know what to do with myself. Like at the time, like, oh my God, like I don't have a job. What do I do? It's such a shock to the system. Because I've always planned my jobs. In my jobs, always after 2 years, I've needed a new challenge. So I've started looking for new roles. And this is the first time it's ever happened to me, anything like that. Anyways, in that moment, I rang a friend, and I said, you know what, this is what's happened, and and he goes, that's fine, come and work with me, or just sit with me in the office, see how things are done, and see if you like it and what you think. And I am forever grateful for that friend, for him to give me that chance and teaching me things, and it is this guy here. So, and I'm really thankful to him for that. So you guys got a good guy. You're working for a good person here. Do you need tissue?
I need one.
Sorry. So I started working, and I think I come in and I was just seeing things that I knew nothing about broking. I thought it was just something, I don't know what it was, like, what would I do? What system would I use? Because you get trained a certain way in the bank on one system. So I'm like, what do I have to learn? What do I have to do? What systems do I have to learn? It was just crazy. But when I started learning it, and it's just the way how he showed me things, I started shadowing him, I started seeing other people in the office. It was a very small team at the time. There was only like 5-6 people in the office, and a lot of the times there was only 3 or 4 of us in there because everybody was out. But then soon after I realized, you know what, I think I can do this. This is doable. But at the same time, I also got to thinking, you know what, I'm at a point in my life. So this was 2019, I'm at a point in my life, I want to invest in myself and I want to invest in my own brand now rather than going and working for people. Because I had learned over the years you could work for anybody, you could be as loyal as possible, because I've always been very loyal to anybody I've ever worked for. You're just a number at the end of the day. So I sat down with Foyaz and I explained to him what I want to do. And the thing was, I was so worried and scared talking to him. I was like, man, he's gonna feel like, oh my God, I got this guy into the business and now he's walking out on me or something like that. But he was so supportive and he was like, yeah, go and do it. You can do it. And that just gave me a lot of courage. So come January 2020, I launched my own company, Focus Finance Solutions. And he was always there as my support system and supporting me, because initially still I didn't know, I was brand new. I didn't know a lot of the lenders, but then through him, I got to know, and we were working very closely together initially. And then we all know what happened, March 2020. Well, my daughter was born in March, and then 2 weeks later, lockdown happened. So everything just, and I was like, oh my God. So I had sleepless nights, didn't know what to do. And I'm like, what's happened? I've started my business now, and now the world is shut down. So what the hell is gonna happen? Anyways, still kept the faith, still kept thinking, still had, sleepless nights. I used to wake up in the night, oh my God, how's it going? Because as a new business, the other thing was, I didn't qualify for any of the grants, any help, or anything. So I was like, oh my God. So even when people talk to me right now and talk about it, I say, you know what, if you can survive 2020 as a new business, you can survive anything. Anyways, fast forward a little bit. I had so much time on my hand, I didn't know what to do. But one thing I decided, I started doing research, and my focus has always been anything I've ever done in my life, I want to be the best at what I do, and I want to be unique and different to what everybody does. So one thing I researched and I found out, not a lot of brokers like doing development finance because it's a very complicated proposition. So I said to myself, you know what, I'm going to learn everything about development finance inside and out, and I'm going to be the best at it because not a lot of people do it. So I started working on that. And then using the time, again, the message is like you need to find a positive out of a negative situation. So the biggest positive for me from the lockdowns and that quiet period was it allowed me to do things I've been putting off for the longest time. So one of the other things I was able to do, I was able to launch my YouTube channel, The People's Broker. And I started creating content. Every week I would put out videos, about a new topic. And it just allowed me to learn things and also to teach people in a simple and easy way. And then it just started growing and started building the brand and stuff like that. Fast forward, we've been now established as a business for over 4 years, and things couldn't be any better. We've grown as a team of 5 people. We had our best year last year. Even this year, we had the best quarter, the best month. So I couldn't be more thankful 4 years on. And also, recently I've started a second business as well, which is a social media marketing and personal branding company, specifically for people in the finance industry. The message I want to get across to you guys is a couple of things. One, the biggest message, you always gotta try and look at the positives in any situation, there's so many things we get thrown at in life, in work, in our professional lives. There's things we have no control over. You can only influence what you can influence. Just focus on influence what you can control. Other stuff, just leave it. If you've given it your 100%, stuff ultimately will work out for you. And that's the most important thing. And the second thing is always looking at that positive and looking at the positives and what you're doing. There's always going to be a positive. When lockdown happens, everybody's like, oh my God, it's the end of the world and property or broking and this stuff. And I was like, you know what? There's going to be something positive. Something good is going to happen. And a lot of people made it the biggest success for them. Even when like a year ago when crazy things happened, the interest rates went through the roof and a lot of brokers I was talking to, I'm giving up broking, I'm doing this, that. I put out a video, I think the December of 2022, which was called why you need a broker in 2023, because I said brokers are going to be in high demand in 2023 because not everybody's not going to want to walk in a bank now. They're going to want to shop around, and that's the thing. So those are just some of the things I wanted to share with you. I wanted to share with you my story, and I just wanted to share with you some of the principles and how my thinking changed over time.
The main reason why I asked Ash to come over here was to sort of like reinforce some of the messages, what I've been telling you guys for the last year or so, maybe longer to some. It's, look, Ash, when he left the bank here, he was a mortgage advisor, then he went into, did the same role I did, and then he went into lending for a couple of years.
I was a BDM for about 2 years.
2 years, yeah, he was doing the BDM role, it's different. So his client bank, as soon as he left here, was almost zero. He dealt with brokers only. When he came to this side, he had to start fresh. I think some of the times that when you guys are sort of like doing the job at the moment, it's like we always look at, so how can we get new clients, yeah? And this is what I said, I mean, if you use him as an example, and I have said that in my meetings previously, he had like 0 clients in his clients, yeah? The way he did it was like building a brand, like in a specific area, target area, his specialty. What you and I spoke on the other day is having a specialist, even in the mortgage science, yeah? So like all of you guys, even if you're doing everything, yeah, have a specialist area. So it gives you a USP against the competition. Because look, you can be the jack of trades and everything here, but then there are going to be always people better than you in every aspect of what you're doing. If you pick an area where you're a specialist in and do other things as well, yeah, it gives you sort of an edge in the market, especially in the chosen field. Look, social media is not going away. It's actually getting bigger, more people are getting into it, and I think it's a good way to sort of like build your individual brands and profiles, yeah, especially when you go and see clients. One of the successes that's come from this videos and YouTubes and LinkedIn is whenever he goes and sees clients, it's less cold and it's more warmer because someone somewhere has seen him do a post, do a video, and they think, okay, cool, I've seen this guy, I know this guy, we can go and talk to him. Whereas if you stay in the sort of like almost in the background all the time, whenever you go and approach somebody, unless you introduce, it's always going to be like a cold lead. So the idea today was for Ash to come and speak to you guys. Yeah, maybe give some tips to you guys on how to get confident, especially when it comes to doing.
I mean, what do you have to lose? What are you afraid of? You know, no one's gonna like kill you.
I
You
think,
know, a lot of times, yeah, go on.
sorry, I think a lot of people would say reputation, as in
You're,
people personally that they know. They see them with their videos.
don't do videos where you're shaking your butt or something. And if you're a broker, you know, that's all I gotta say. Some of them do it, and then that's where I lose credibility. So do the content. Okay, so the key thing about social media is what I learned early is don't try and sell yourself on there. Hi, I am Ash and I do mortgages, buy mortgages from me, or you know, something like that. I don't think you will ever find any content where I'm like selling myself. Share the knowledge and the knowledge will sell itself. If you're adding some knowledge to people, it could be anything. So sometimes what I do, so my formula, I share content 3 days a week on my personal page and twice on the company page. The content every day, which is being shared on those 3 days on personal page, is different from each other. So Monday is the Monday motivation video. Wednesday, it will be something about the business, where it could be like a video I'll share about a topic on bridging or mortgages or something like that. Thursday, it could be a bit more personal. Recently, the Thursday posts are more about social media tips and things like that, which I'm doing with the new business. And then on Tuesdays and Fridays, on company pages, all I do is I reshare an article from this website about property, which has articles every day, and I should share one of the relevant articles which I know my audience would like. So the other key thing is who your audience are, who your connections are as well, and try and cater the content. You're just sharing knowledge, and when you share knowledge, people will appreciate it, is one of the things. And also is one of the things you touched upon, like people remembering you. So, you know, that's how people remember you. So even when after a while, when I walk into any events like NSCFB, whatever, was it? Oh yeah, the People's Broker, or oh the Monday Motivation. What are you doing for Monday Motivation on this Monday? I'm like, well, you're just gonna have to tune in to find out. So it's like one of those. So it's a great icebreaker. So it could even be anything, even if you want to do something silly. Even people say, oh, don't post about personal stuff on LinkedIn because it's, dude, post whatever the hell you want. It's your page, right? Just as long as you kind of make a link to it back to what you do and what your ultimate goal is. So you gotta know, why are you posting when you're posting something? What's the whole idea? Just to get a bit more eyes on your brand, on your personal brand, and on yourself. Even simple as, you know, taking a picture with someone you went to, where you probably see that I do, and just writing a little bit of a post and things like that. And this is one of the reasons why I started my second business, is because that's why I used to get asked a lot, like, oh man, how do you do it? How can you help us? I was like, well, we can take the hassle out of you, because social media is a full-time job. The reason I did it initially, because I had a lot of time on my hand. When the times got out of my hand, then I hired somebody to do a lot of the work for me. Initially, when you see the videos, all of them are done editing by me, everything, writing the script, research, making thumbnails and stuff like that. So I know it inside out, but now I got someone working with me to help me, but I can still go and talk to people about it. So I think it's important. Social media, I feel, is very important. And it's free, you know, it's free. So why not just use it? And it's only gonna be, if you're not on social media, people check two things. They'll check your website, and then they'll check you on, say, LinkedIn or something like that. What is your profile? If they look at your profile, I don't know, you got 100 connections, they're not gonna really take you seriously. If you're trying to build up your connections as much as you can, just connect with people, doesn't matter. So it's one of the big things, and that's what's gonna give you the exposure, basically.
No, absolutely. Just to sort of add on, I remember Cobbs once saying, oh, I'm getting all these requests, but should I add them? I said, why wouldn't you? Just increase your numbers. It doesn't matter who it is, just to add them on. The other thing is, I think part of the thing is a fear of what other people are going to be saying about what we do here. I think we need to sort of like shift our focus away from worrying about what other people are saying, what we do. As long as we can live with what we say here, and we're happy with the content that we provide. It's what I said here, it's not always about providing, you know, doing fun ones. Like even the more informative ones, if you want to be taken seriously, especially mortgage prices, maybe like providing information. It's not a hard sale all the time, it's outputting your knowledge there so people know why they should come to you. It's developing sort of like a USP. And the second part to it is like one of the things I always hear a lot is lack of time. Oh, there's no time to do it. Time goes quickly. And yes, time does. But look, let's just use an example that, yeah, he's got 2 kids, he has to do the school run. On top of that, yeah, he does his social media. On top of that, he does his deals, meetings. Now, let's just break it down individually how we have. You only got support recently?
Just
so long ago?
yesterday, basically.
Yeah.
So my schedule is, I even did a video about that, a day in the life of a broker, actually. I wake up in the morning, I'll have breakfast, I'll drop the kids off to school, I'll go to the gym, I'll train in the gym, I'll go to the office or work from home on a day, or meetings or whatever, do the work, then I have to do the pickup at 3 o'clock. So literally I have very limited time to work. I'm only have from sort of 10:30, 11 o'clock to 3 o'clock to work. But it's not about the hours you're putting in, it's just how you're managing your day. So 3 o'clock I'll pick up the kids, bring the kids home, then I do a bit of work in that little 1 hour. And at 4:30 I switch off. From 4:30 till about 7:30, I'm just spending time at home with kids, having dinner, whatever. Put them to sleep. If there's work that needs to be done, I'll do it in the evening. Most of the time, I then spend time on what I want to do. The key thing always is coming up with a routine, a schedule, and sticking to it. People always sit down and make a routine, make a New Year's resolution, The only reason they fail is they don't stick to it. So I said, even if you're gonna do goals, don't do like unrealistic goals, do measurable goals. And also things that you can actually keep up with and hold yourself accountable. If you can do those things regularly, they'll just become a habit. I'll give you an example. So one of the things I had learned is to become a bit more recognizable on social media, say LinkedIn, you need to comment on 5 posts a day, and you need to like or engage with 5 posts a day. So I put that in my diary every day at 4:30. That's what I have to do. And when that 4:30, when that bell went on, I this is what I was doing. And I did it, and now that thing goes on, but I've already done it. Because it's just become such a habit to just do it. So try and stick to things, try doing things, and they'll just become a habit. It'll become second nature. Like these days, like going to the gym, it's just automatic. If there's a day that I'm not going to the gym when I'm supposed to go to the gym, I feel a bit weird, like, oh my God, what day of the week it is, you know? So it's like quite a bit automatic. A lot of times people say, oh man, you become a robot or something like that. At the same time, you gotta have flexibility as well. But the key message I'm trying to get across is, like, build that discipline. And that's in any form of work you're doing. I think a discipline is so important if you're looking to succeed in life, basically.
Yeah. Look, sustainability is very important. So it's not saying that we need to work more hours and stuff. It's just that I feel some of the times if you become better organised, set client expectations a little bit better, and utilise the sort of right resources we have here, life will be easier. I think some of the times I feel that it's so easy to make things difficult for yourselves rather than, what do you call it, taking a step back and thinking, what's the easiest way to do it, but the most productive way. So it's not always about sort of like working the hardest or the longest. It's about working smartly, but you have to work hard and you have to enjoy what you're doing. Because the reality is, if you don't enjoy something, then the result will show. And that's the fact of life. Because, if you're not putting enough into it, you're not going to get that output. So I think it's important to sort of like take stock of things like that as well.
One of the biggest thing about time, so most people complain about time. Even when I was talking, oh man, I just don't have the time to do social media. I don't have the time to do this and stuff like that. And I say to people that there are 24 hours in a day. Even if you take out, say, 8 hours of sleep or something, you still have 16 hours. If you had to just sit in a corner, you had no internet, no phone. This week, for 5 days at home, I'm without internet, just to let you know. So my son doesn't know what to do with himself. He's like, I'm bored, I don't know what to do. If you gauge, I read this something, you should treat your time like you treat your money. So how do we treat our money? So we are so careful with our money. We watch our bank statement all the time. We check the price tag. We are, trying to make sure we're gonna make it to the end of the month. But then you're gonna get paid at least at the end of the month. With time, you don't have that luxury and you can't even save time. So time is just going. With money, at least you can save it and you can use it when the times get hard. With time, you don't have that. It's just going. So are you using that time equity to your advantage, or how are you spending time? So if you're trying to think that way, I know some people say, oh, it's a bit more deep and stuff like that, but it's just the reality of life, guys. I mean, money is something that is replicated. Time is not replicated yet. We're crazy about money and how we spend it. We don't want to spend it on expensive things because I just can't afford it. But yet, with our time, which is so valuable, we can just sit there and do nothing. Mostly just scrolling through TikTok a lot of the times. I do that, but only to learn and to get a bit more motivation, but not just like blindly, basically.
Look, I think it would be good for you guys to have some questions.
Yeah.
The best thing for a mortgage broker to do is to balance their time.
I'd say the best thing, if you have a calendar, like your diary calendar or whatever, try and live by the calendar and put things in that calendar. If you're planning a week or a month or something like that. So you're gonna have activity. There's 3 types of activities normally. So you'll have daily activities. You're gonna do it every day, weekly, and then monthly. Plan it out. Put that in the diary and stick to it. But don't underchange yourself. If you think something's gonna take you an hour, don't put 30 minutes in there. Because a lot of times things overrun by 10, 15 minutes. Oh, now I only have 10 minutes to do this task. You know what? I won't do it. I'll do it tomorrow, right? So it's just, again, going back to that discipline and just planning. So planning is very, very important. The better you can plan, the better it is. Even like, for example, you're planning for the next week. I used to sit down, I sometimes sit down on a Sunday evening, and I just sit down and I just make notes of what's going to happen in the week, or even on Friday when I'm closing out, this has to happen next week. And we're not going to remember everything, guys. Things are going to get so busy. Just put it in the diary so you have a reminder. We have so many gadgets and things around. We don't have to remember stuff.
No.
So again, it's all down to just a discipline, more planning, eventually
It's quite interesting what I said about the sort of like the planning. I think even with application, if we know we've got like 3 applications, we should allocate that time and try and utilise that time for that application. And I think if we do that, what we'll see is that we're like managing our time much better, and then we'll have a little bit more time to do more things.
How do you guys manage your tasks right now? So say you have tasks, how do you manage it?
We use Asana.
In their head.
Pace tracker.
Do you write it down?
But not so much the admins do it more than the brokers.
Yeah, most of
the
the
admins
time
kind of
in your
manage it
head.
for them, yeah.
He's doing it here.
Do you just write it down?
Yeah, I think they have different ways, but Foyaz,
Foyaz is
not
he won't
singing
write
out,
down
but
anything.
yours is in your head.
It's a blank piece of
Yeah,
paper.
blank.
You just highlight that.
No, but yeah, but for someone like Foyaz, how would you?
Yeah.
So I'm a huge fan
That
of
was
pen
great.
and paper. I love pen and paper. Has anybody heard of Trello?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
I
so
used to use that.
maybe just I found. I mean, my VA uses it.
We've got Asana, which
Yeah.
is similar.
And I think it's kind of cool tool initially to use sometimes.
Mm.
I used to use that for marketing.
Yeah,
It's quite
I mean,
good
you can
marketing.
use it in anything basically, and I think it's a good tool a lot of the times to use. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, now it's like so automatic a lot of the times. It's just like I've got things like for next week I'm saying, okay, this customer, it needs that, this needs that. So I'm already kind of trying, and I think in this job, the more you kind of pre-plan things, the more you're gonna save yourself the hassle as compared to on the last day of completion, oh, something happened and it's not completing today, type of thing. So in this job, it's all about preempting the worst, preempting the whatever. And that's just in life as well, right? You know, why do we put on a seatbelt? Do we wait to see I'm gonna have a crash and then quickly put my seatbelt on? No, I put the seatbelt on first. You know, I drive with care. That's why there's speed bumps on the road too, because it's like preempting a lot of this stuff, right? So I think it's just, again, goes back to planning. But there are tasks which are like have to be done right now. Some they're important but are not urgent. So some are important and urgent, some are important but not urgent, some are not important or urgent. You know, that type of thing, the 4. And trying, like, one of the biggest thing is, I think, and I had this problem, I would get an email and instantly I have to respond to this email. I'd leave whatever I'm doing and now I'm reading this email and now you've lost your thought on the other task and now you're consumed with this, you end up doing this and then you forget what you were doing first. So I think it's about sometimes maybe turn off the notification on your email. Things don't have to be done instantly. Some things do, but not all of them. A lot of times I don't answer a client's call if I don't have to, because I know he's just gonna chew my ear off for the next 30 minutes and just talk rubbish. So a lot of times you just gotta,
to get a lot of that experience, don't you?
yeah, he's too friendly, he looks too friendly. That's why he did this call in. He's like a psychologist.
No, he is. He actually is.
Yeah, so yeah, customers love people like that. I've become like a life coach for so many of them as well. Like, oh, they just wanna ring and talk about everything.
That's you, Foyaz.
Yeah.
So it's those things at the end of the day, you learn about yourself. So don't be too hard on yourself either. You learn about things, but then when you do, just firm up. As I said, know your worth. You're not just someone to just ring you and tell you do this and that. So it's all down to you. You dictate the terms of how your day should go, and that's how you can have a. And I think one of the things I say, your well-being is so important. Your mental well-being, your physical well-being, I think is so important. The better you're feeling mentally. If you're feeling good physically, you'll feel good mentally, and it goes vice versa. And you're going to be able to perform better, in your jobs and everyday tasks in your careers. So one thing that has really helped me, I've already typed up all these the auto messages into my phones and stuff.
Yeah,
So when I get those, if I'm on a school run, people understand that. I just click that on a school run. We'll call you later. Or I'm in a meeting, please text me, or whatever your day is like, whatever you think normally in your days that can stop you from taking a phone call. But do those auto messages in there so people know, because if sometimes you're quick in answering emails and phone calls, people undervalue you as well, because they feel, oh, he's available all the time, he's not that busy, he doesn't have any clients, he's going to answer my call all the time. And when they do, they start undervaluing you as well. Any job, especially in our job, if you can master this, you're going to be gold. And it's about communication. Always communicate with your clients, even if you promise them something's going to happen the next day and you still haven't heard, you're waiting to hear from a lender about it or something like that. If you promise them a response by 2 p.m. but you haven't had a response, don't just leave it now and thinking, oh, I'll just respond to him when I get a response. Still drop the client a message like, hi, I know I promised you a response by this time. I haven't had a response from the lender or so and so. As soon as I do, I will, because people hate being left in the lurch. Because the next thing he's gonna do, he's gonna call you, and then it's gonna be a panic for, oh crap, this customer's calling me, but I don't have an answer for him. What should I do? So it's about communication, and again, it all can come from organization and stuff. Even a lot of times I message clients ahead of time, and this is one of the things I get a lot. If you read my Google reviews, one of the things people always comment on is Ash's communication skills and how he keeps me informed throughout my customer journey. And I'm like that, because this is how I like to be communicated. I want to be communicated every step of the day. Okay, this is happening now, that's gonna happen next, then that will happen. So you kind of like preparing people. People don't know how finance works or mortgages work. We think it's second nature for us, so we kind of take it for granted. But a normal guy doesn't know what a customer journey looks like, how many stages and steps there are. So you kind of have to hold their hand and educate them a bit too, and it all comes down to communication, guys. And I think if you can communicate with them, whether it be good or bad, to do it. Even like giving people bad news, I think that's probably the biggest one. And I used to be like that. But you know, okay, this is my thing, right? If you're gonna give someone a bad news, have a solution ready for him. Okay, Mr. Customer, this is what's happened. You've been declined by this lender. However, I've got another solution for you, and this is what maybe took you longer to get back. So this is what I was doing actually. And that's how they will appreciate you. People just want stuff done. They don't care. They don't know which lender it is and stuff like that. They just want things done. So even if you're calling with the bad news, okay, so what now? Oh, I don't know. Let me find out. So what if you do that beforehand? You know, always have that, and people really appreciate you, and they will go with it.
What's your favourite part of the job?
But the thing I love the most, I would say, and I've always loved it, is my interaction with customers and building customer relationships. And sometimes can be detrimental because customers become your best friends, and they, I take it as a compliment that they trust you and they want to then talk to you. So I think the biggest one for me is customer service, and I think that's really lacking in this industry. A lot of the brokers, they just want to do a one hit and that's it. My focus from day one has always been, I want to build a legacy business long term. And I think if you can have good 10 to 15, maybe 15 to 20 regular customers, they will keep you busy for a long time. You won't have to always go out and search for new business. And through them, you'll get more business and more businesses kind of build up. So always, I think for me, it's always just building that customer relationship, talking to people.
Where do you get most of your leads from? What social media platforms?
Most of my leads come from other brokers.
Oh, okay.
Honestly, so the relationships I've built with other brokers over the years, it comes from them. Some come through like accountants that I know, some come through others. So it's various ones. Social media, I'm very proactive on like a lot of these groups. So there's a lot of these, like say HMO groups. So I do a lot of HMOs, development and remortgages and stuff. So I'm part of various HMO groups, and I'm very proactive. I'm always commenting, always helping people, answering their questions. And then I just say, DM me if you want to chat more. And through that, you just have a conversation. Just never try and sell anything to anybody. Think of it as you're helping, and that's what people like. People love free stuff. Just help them for free. And ultimately, you will get the reward. So you gotta give to receive, basically.
Social media. Who's TikTok?
I am on TikTok. I recently actually joined TikTok about 2 weeks ago. It's called The People's Broker, if you want to add me. So all my handles are The People's Broker. So if you go on, so if you guys haven't done it, maybe go subscribe to the channel. You can help me out, help me increase the subscribers and share it. So if you go on YouTube, just search The People's Broker. I think there's nearly 400 videos on there now.
Yeah, it's quite a lot.
What is it you speak about, just about the market and things like that?
So there's playlists on there. So there's playlists about property finance. There's playlists about buy-to-lets, tips for landlords. There's just tips in the market, what's happening.
Issues as well, things that have gone wrong. I think I've seen some of them. Things like how to do things, different aspects of lending and stuff that you've done.
You'll always find something on there, trust me. So I've done a video about customer journey. So what I do now a lot of times, when people ask me questions or if it's a new client, I just send them a link to some of the videos to explain to them on development finance how that works. And I explain things in the layman's term because that's how I understand it. People hate jargons, you know, so just always use easy terms. So that you'll always find something on that channel. There's even a thing on there about how to be a broker and the various ways you can become a broker and, you know, things like that. There's even a video about social media, like how to market yourself on social media and stuff like that. So you're always gonna find something on there. So if you get a chance, do that. So I'm on YouTube, that's the main channel. I'm on LinkedIn. If you haven't added me, add me. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. And one other thing I wanted to share is the power of social media. I'll share 2 examples. One, I get a call one day. It's an international number. I'm like, who the heck was ringing me? I don't recognize, this is not a 208. So I pick up the phone and I'm like, talking to the guy, he's talking to me about his mortgage and da-da-da. I said, I'm just gonna stop you first. Where are you calling me from? He goes, I'm calling you from Dubai. And I'm like, how did you find my number? He's like, oh, you know, someone I know on LinkedIn liked your video. So I saw your video and then from that, looked at your YouTube channel. I was like, oh, this guy knows what he's doing. So that's why I'm like contacting you. And I ended up, he's a client now, I ended up, I think, doing 3 remortgages for him for his properties. He lives in Dubai, works for MasterCard. He's got 3 properties in London, which he needed to remortgage, so we did that. Same thing through Facebook. So people have seen my videos, DM me, and I've done mortgages for them, basically. One more tip for new brokers. As I said, you know, don't be afraid to help people. A lot of times when someone is coming to you, sometimes I've even told them, you don't need to use my service. You can just go directly to your bank and do it yourself. And a lot of times they appreciate you for that kind of stuff because it doesn't show desperation. The minute you show desperation as a broker, people are gonna run away from you, basically. More big tip about being a good broker, keep your ears and eyes open at all times. Be switched on all the time. You're gonna make so much money just keeping your ears and eyes open at all time. And don't be afraid to talk to people. Keep business cards on you all the time. Always give them 2 cards. That's another thing. Always give them 2 cards. And they say, why you give me 2 cards? Like one is for you and one is for a friend, perhaps, who may be able to use my services. So always give them 2 business cards.
Hope you all found it useful.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for your time.
Always time and effort.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.